Okay. So once again, very good evening to all of you. So if we resume from here, give me a minute. Let me- Okay. So now see over here. So here now we are having this probability. So in GATE, right, this is exactly combined chapter. It is your statistics and probability. Okay. So फटाफट फिनिश करते हैं. इससे आप अच्छे मार्क्स एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं. Oh sorry. You can expect good marks from this chapter. You can expect on an average 5 marks from this chapter, students. Right. And there cannot be a GATE paper without a question of probability. There must be a question of probability. Right. So this is exactly your chapter is probability and statistics. See over here. So here I will take introduction. Okay. So our chapter is probability and statistics. Right. Now see over here. This chapter contains 5 marks from GATE point of view. Right. You can expect 5 marks questions from here. If you analyze this statistic, right, statistics will finish today, and even we will start probability as well. Right. So I'll increase speed a little bit. And in probability, we are going to see this type of questions. First, depends on your basic definition of probability or basic questions. Then random variable or expectation based questions. Right. RV is your random variable, and this is your expectation. What is random variable? What is expectation? That we will see. Next, probability distribution type of questions. They will give you different probability distributions. Few already you have learned in your core subjects, right, as their application. Your probability distribution graph, discrete distribution or continuous distribution. You might have learned normal distribution curve. Okay, normal distribution curve is one type of your probability distribution. So this we are going to see in probability. So let us start statistics today. So this is your intro. Our today's target is we'll try to finish this statistics portion. Okay. So if I talk about what is statistics or what is definition of statistics. So according to Professor R.A. Fisher, I will give you detailed definition as well. Sorry. So for statistics, generally it is defined as it is divided into 3 parts. First part is collection of data. Okay, we have to collect data first, collection of data. This is also a part of statistics. Second is analysis of data. Right. You can analyze your data. This is your analysis of data. So collection of data, analysis of data, and the last one is interpretation of data. How, if data is given to you, how you can interpret it. Okay, in terms of mean, median, mode, random, or I can say variation, standard deviation. Okay, variance. So interpretation of data, and we are going to see each one in detail. Okay, and this data can be further divided into group, ungrouped data. Okay, closed, open data. We'll see all its classification as well. Right. So first, let us start statistics. So definition of statistics. So according to Professor R.A. Fisher, statistics is defined as collection of data, analysis of data, and interpretation of data. This only. Okay. So according to Professor R.A. Fisher, statistic is defined as this. Right, this is your definition of statistics. Okay. Now, let us classify what are the different types of data we are having. Okay, so let us see types of data. Data is nothing but your information, right? That whatever information you are having, that is your data. So data is divided into group or ungrouped data as well as open or closed data. So let us see first what is group and ungroup and open and closed with examples as well as its definition. Okay. So your first classification of data is group and ungrouped data. Next classification is open and closed data. Now, so group and ungrouped data. Okay. So what is the meaning of group and what is the meaning of ungroup? Suppose data is given to you randomly without any group, that is your ungrouped data. Okay, if data contains only observations without any class interval, then data is known as ungrouped data or raw data. See over here. So ungrouped data means, suppose here you are having 5, 4, 3, 6. This is your ungrouped data. Okay. So this is your ungrouped data, students. Ungrouped data means it is not having any frequency, it is not having any class interval. They will give you randomly. And in group data, they will give you in the form of class interval and frequency. Right? They will give you this frequency table that from 50 to 60, you are having 5 data, right? From 60 to 70, you are having 6 data, something like this. Are you getting my point? So if your data is in the form of class interval and frequency, it is called your group data. If your data is random, then it is called your ungrouped data. Okay. So first, it should be clear. Okay, that what is your group data and ungrouped data. After, because all the formula are different for group and ungroup as well. Now this group data is only divided into open and closed data. Okay. So open and close. This class interval you can have of two types. See over here. Suppose your class interval is beginning from 50, right? Here your first class interval is ending with 60. Again, your next class interval is also again if it is starting from 60. Then next 70 to 80. Next 80 to 90. So this is called a closed. The another name of closed data is continuous data, right? There is not any disturbance. If it is ending from 60 over here, it will start from 60 over here. What is your open data? Open data means if it is starting from 50, here it will end at 59, and again it will start at 60 to 69, right? There is one gap. This is your open data. Continuous, it is not continuous, it is a discontinuous, right? That's why it is also called discrete. Discrete means discontinuous. Are you getting my point? 70 to 79, 80 to 89. So this is your open data and this is your closed data. First, this should be clear. Okay. Is it clear? Okay. Now there is one question about closed data is that, sir, if I have to include 60, then I should include 16 this interval or this interval, where I should include 60, because 60 is here as well and here as well. So for closed data, if I'm writing my data from 50 to 60, then its meaning is it is from closed interval 50 to open interval 60. Right. This closed interval 50 means 50 is included and 60 is excluded. Okay, 50 is included in this interval and 60 is excluded. So if I have to write 60, so I will include 60 in the second interval, not in this first interval. Okay. So 60, and what about 70? 70 should be included in first interval, not in second interval. Right. So here from 60 to 70 or 50 to 60, till at which last point I should include my data, my last point will be 50.999999, right? And so on, 50.99999. So this will be your last point. So whatever type of data you are having based on that. So is this classification clear? This is your basic. If this classification is clear, then we can see formula. Right. And now we are going to see this formula based on this classification only. That formula for group data and formula for ungrouped data. Okay, formula for mean, variance, standard deviation, and based on the questions based on them. Okay. Just type in chat box. Is it clear now? Shall we move forward? Open data, closed data, group data, ungroup data. Right, data, statistics. Okay, great. Now see over here. Chalo. First, our first definition, that is mean. Its another name is also arithmetic mean. Okay. So here, the first definition, give me a minute, is your mean, right? And its another name is arithmetic mean. Its symbol is x bar, right? So for ungrouped data, your mean x bar is defined as sigma xi by n, right? So for ungrouped data, your x bar is defined as sigma xi by n. You all know this. Okay. This is for your ungrouped data. And for group data, your x bar will be sigma fi xi by n, right? Or I can say here capital N. This is for group data, right? Where capital N is your sigma fi, that is sum of all frequencies. Right? This is group data, class interval and frequency. And what is your xi? Xi is your midpoint of each class interval. Which is referred as lower limit plus upper limit divided by 2. Midpoint of class interval, lower limit plus upper limit by 2. Okay, right. Here small n is number of observations. And xi is each observation. So if I have to find this x bar for ungrouped data, which I have given over here, suppose this is our example 5, 3, 4, 6. So it will be 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 6 divided by 4. Here our midpoint will be 55 and here 65. So for 55 into 5, 65 into 7. And in denominator sigma fi will become 7 plus 5, that is 12. Okay. So this is how we can use this. This is just a kind of revision, isn't it? It's all you have learned till class 10th. Okay. Okay. Chalo, next. Variance. Okay. And from variance only, we are going to define standard deviation. Now see. So for variance and standard deviation, here. First, it is defined as your variance is square of standard deviation and standard deviation is square root of variance. Okay. So your variance is equal to, so short form of standard deviation is SD square, and your standard deviation is positive square root of variance, right? Because we are having two square roots, one is positive and one is negative, isn't it? So positive square root of variance is your standard deviation. What is its symbol? If I am taking standard deviation as sigma, right? If I am taking symbol of standard deviation as sigma, and this sigma is this, okay, this is your sigma. This is your small sigma. This is your capital sigma. This sigma means summation. This sigma means standard deviation, right? So if I'm taking this as small sigma, then my variance will be sigma square or not. Okay. Same, this variance I will take sigma square over here. So square root of sigma square, standard deviation will be sigma. So symbol of variance is sigma square and symbol of standard deviation is sigma. Okay. Now, here your variance cannot be negative, we can see, because variance is square of standard deviation or not, right? So one note is even standard deviation also cannot be negative. So variance कैन नॉट बी नेगेटिव, आपका वेरिएंस कभी भी नेगेटिव नहीं होगा. ओके, वेरिएंस कैन नॉट बी नेगेटिव. नेक्स्ट, what is your formula of this standard deviation and variance? Again, we are having two types of formula, one for ungrouped data, one for group data. So first I will give you formula for ungrouped data, or let me give you both formulas simultaneously, and then I will explain you formula for ungrouped data with one example. Okay, so let us see this formula. So sigma square, suppose you are finding this variance of data x, so it is called sigma x square. I am writing this for ungrouped data, right? That means I am having only x and number of elements, different xi and number of elements. So this is defined as sigma xi minus x bar whole square, x bar is your mean, divided by n. So sigma xi minus x bar whole square whole divided by n. It is having one more formula. If you simplify this, if you just expand this, sigma xi minus x bar whole square a minus b whole square a square minus 2ab plus b square, and apply sigma on both sides. So ultimately you will get 1 by n sigma xi square, right, sigma of xi square minus x bar whole square, or this x bar you can say like sigma xi by n, right, sigma xi by n whole square. This x bar is your sigma xi by n. Okay, so you can use this both formula according to your convenience. I will show you from example as well. So first let me explain you this formula for ungrouped data. Okay, then we will see this for group data. Sure. Suppose, let us take one example. Suppose I am taking different values of xi, 1, 2, 3, 4. For this, I have to find its variance or standard deviation, right? Variance means sigma square, standard deviation means sigma. But definitely, if I have to find its sigma square, first I need to find its mean or not. Mean should be my first priority. So let us find its mean first. So x bar is equal to, or let me calculate over here because one example I will take on right side. So first I will find x bar. So x bar is equal to sigma xi by n. It is equal to 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 by 4 number of data. That is 10 by 4. It is 2.5 or not. Now to find sigma, I require xi minus x bar whole square and its summation. So let us find first xi minus x bar and its square. What is our x bar? 2.5. So here it is 1 minus 2.5 and its square. Okay, so 1 minus 2.5 is minus 1.5 or not? Okay, so it will be your 1 minus 2.5 whole square. Then this is your 1 minus, 2 minus 2.5 whole square. This is your 3 minus 2.5 whole square. And this is your 4 minus 2.5 whole square. Are you getting my point? So its simplification will give us 1 minus 2.5, that is 2.5 minus 1, it is 1.5 or not? Square of 1.5. Okay. In another term, 2 minus 2.5 whole square, it is your 0.5 square or not? Right. Again, this is your 3 minus 2.5, 0.5 square. And this is your 1.5 square. So in next step, with the help of Kelsey, you can find this square. 5 square is 25. Right, 15 square is 2.
सर सिग्मा क्या दोनों के लिए है? सिग्मा ब्रैकेट में xi minus x bar का स्क्वायर होना चाहिए.
क्या हितेश? What happened?
सिग्मा ये सिग्मा के बाद जो है xi स्क्वायर वो ब्रैकेट में होना चाहिए ना, तभी तो दोनों के लिए सिग्मा होगा.
आप यहाँ बोल रहे हो कि यहाँ नहीं? यहाँ पे सिग्मा बस इधर
ऐसा लगता है कि ये यहाँ पे सिर्फ
हाँ, ये सिग्मा सिर्फ इसी को अप्लाइड है. ये फॉर्मूला के लिए आप बोल रहे हो ना?
हाँ हाँ
हाँ, यहाँ पे ये सिग्मा सिर्फ इसी को अप्लाई है, क्योंकि जब आप इसको सिंप्लीफाई करोगे ना, तो ये सिग्मा ऑलरेडी यहाँ पे आएगा. दिस इज योर सिग्मा xi by n होल स्क्वायर, राइट? ये इसके अंदर ही सिग्मा है. This x bar is your sigma xi by n whole square.
Okay.
Okay. Sigma is here only on this. Is it clear? Want to see proof of this? Okay. So 1.5, 50 square of 15 is 225. So this is your 2.25 or not? Again, this is your 2.25. So this is your 0.5, 2 plus 2, 4, 4.5, 4.5 plus 0.5 is 5 or not? Okay. So here it's sigma square will be summation of xi minus x bar whole square divided by n. So xi minus x bar whole square 2.25, 2.25, 4.5 and 0.5, that is 5 by 4. So therefore sigma square 5 by 4 is 1.25 or not. And from that you can find sigma, its square root. Okay. So this is your standard deviation and this is your variance. Is it clear? Please give me some response. Okay. Now let us see one more thing, one more example. Right. So this is your xi. This is your xi minus x bar whole square, right? Now, suppose I am taking all our same data, right? If I'm taking all data same, right? Suppose I'm taking all data as 4444, then its mean will be also 4 or not? Then what is here xi minus x bar? This is 4 minus 4, 0, 0, 0, 0, right? 0 square is 0. So here my sigma square will be 0 divided by 4, it is 0. So sigma square equal to sigma equal to 0. Right. So what is moral of the story? When our data is constant, see, this is our data is constant. At that time our variance will become 0. And when our data is variable 1, 2, 3, 4, at that time our variance will be positive. It cannot be negative, it is positive. Right. So here I have written that variance cannot be negative, implies variance is always greater than or equal to 0. Right. That is your sigma square is always greater than or equal to 0. It is equal to 0 for constant data and greater than 0 for variable data. Okay. So this is I have shown you from this example. From this example, we can also observe that, right, if I have to find sigma xi minus x bar, see, if I have to find sigma of xi minus x bar, see, this is your xi minus x bar, 1 minus 2.5, it is minus 1.5 or not? 2 minus 2.5, it is minus 0.5 or not? 3 minus 2.5, it is plus 0.5 or not? And 4 minus 2.5, it is 1.5. So if I add these values directly, what I will get? 0 or not? Okay. So sigma of xi minus x bar is 0. Okay. Sigma of xi minus x bar is 0. And from this, there was another concept in class 10, that sigma xi minus x bar. See, here sigma is applied to both the terms, but here sigma is applied to only xi. So this will be your, this sigma xi can be written as n into x bar, isn't it? Because x bar is equal to sigma xi by n or not? X bar is equal to sigma xi by n. So sigma xi equal to n into x bar. So this sigma xi can be written as n into x bar minus x bar. So after simplification, we will get n minus 1 x bar. Okay. So sigma xi minus x bar is n minus 1 x bar when there is no bracket, right? And sigma xi minus x bar is equal to 0. Okay. So this also can be useful. This is clear. Please give me some response. Right. Is this variance concept clear? Variance is 0 for constant data. Variance is positive for any other data, variable data. sigma xi minus x bar equal to 0 always, right? And it should be whole bracket, and sigma xi minus x bar is n minus 1 x bar. Okay, if it is clear, then great. Okay, so we can move forward. Okay, next. Yes, any doubt? Okay. Now, let me give you formula for variance for group data. Right, this was for ungrouped data. So for group data, let me copy this again, because you can analyze and you can compare. Sorry. So this is your variance for ungrouped data. Right. Now let me write this for group data. See here. Now your variance for group data. So this will be your sigma, instead of xi minus x bar, it will be your fi into xi minus x bar whole square, whole divided by capital N. And you all know that capital N is your sigma fi. Right. And after, if you'll give this, so same procedure, 1 upon n sigma fi into xi square. See over here, just I am applying fi. Right. Before applying any sigma, I am applying fi. Minus, this is same x bar whole square. But what is x bar for group data? For group data, your x bar is sigma fi xi by capital N, and your capital N is sigma fi. Okay. So this is the thing. So this is your formula for group data. Okay. Now, let me give you few notes, and based on that notes, let us solve few questions of statistics. Then we can start our basic probability. Okay. Now, what is the meaning of variance? Okay. Why we are finding this variance? So variance, exactly, it will give you differences from all data from its mean. Okay. So differences from all data from its mean, it is given by variance. Differences within the data from its mean is known as variance. Right. Now let us see some notes about this variance or its properties. Right. First, if your variance is less, right, that means, see, lesser variance implies more consistent or more uniform data. So your variance is less, right? Understand this carefully. This is your measure of dispersion, right? It will give you how your data are dispersed. If I plot all your data on the graph, right? So suppose your first data is 5, then 6, then 4, then 3, then 2, and like that. If I'm drawing its graph, suppose this is your mean value, x bar. Now this is your dispersion, how your all data are arranged with respect to this mean. Variance will give you all these differences. Okay. So if our variance is less, that means all our data are consistent. If our variance is high, that means this all things are high. So that means our data are not uniform or not consistent. There are very different apart. Is it clear now? So whenever you are working in any firm, in quality department, so after production, whatever you are getting your output, they are measuring its all your dimensions, and they are finding its this variance value, right? That what is its variance, and they are following this 6 sigma rule, that it should not proceed the 3 sigma on either of side, right? You might have heard about this, right? So this is your all your quality control department. Okay. Now variance never be negative, that already we have seen, right? Now variance of constant is 0, that also we have seen, but let us write in words as well. So variance of constant data is 0. Variance of the variable is positive, that also we have seen. Variance of variable is your positive value. Sure. Sum of the differences from its mean is always 0, that also we have written, that is sigma xi minus x bar equal to 0. But in words also you should know, right? Its meaning is sum of differences from its mean. If I'm taking these differences from its mean, and if I sum them directly, so this will give me 0. So that's why for variance we are finding its square first, right? So negative value will be converted to positive. So sum of differences from its mean is 0. And your final property, that mean of constant is constant only, right? When you'll find mean of constant, so it is constant only. Now let us see examples based on this, right? So in statistics you are having this theory portion. Your first question, find the mean and variance, and this question you can use this as definition as well, and we will write, or we will remember the output of this question, right? Or what is the answer of this question, we'll remember this as a formula. So find mean and variance of first and natural numbers. So find mean and variance of first and natural numbers. Sure. So how we can find that? First and natural numbers are 1 to n or not? Right. So what is its mean? Sigma xi by n. What is its sigma? N by 2 into n plus 1 or not? Okay, whole divide by n. So your x bar is equal to 1 plus n, or n plus 1 by 2. First term plus last term by 2. Isn't it? It's mean. Chalo. How we can find its variance? We are having two formulae. So first formula is sigma xi minus x bar whole square by n, and another formula is 1 upon n sigma xi square minus x bar square. Okay. So which formula will be easier over here? Tell me. First or second? Type in chat box. Second will be easier or not? Okay. So see over here. So this is your 1 by n. Now I have given you this formula. You know about sigma xi square? See. Also remember this formula as well. So I think its simplification can be done here in few steps. And let me give you a formula of sigma. Okay. So first formula of your sigma xi. It is your 1, 2, 3 up to n. So this is your n by 2 into n plus 1. Sigma xi square. 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square up to n square. So this is your n plus 1, 2n plus 1 by 6. Sigma xi cube. 1 cube plus 2 cube plus 3 cube up to n cube. So this is your n square, n plus 1 whole square by 4. Okay, these are your three formula. You guys know this, right? Remember this as well. Okay. Now see here. So this is your 1 upon n. Now sigma xi square. So what is your formula of sigma xi square? N plus 1, 2n plus 1 by 6. N plus 1, 2n plus 1 by 6. Minus x bar square. X bar is your 1 plus n or not? So n plus 1 whole square by 2 square. Here n will get cancelled out. So if I simplify this, I am having 1 upon 6 over here. And this n will be multiplied to both of these terms. So it is your 2n square plus n. Then 1 will be multiplied to both of these terms. So this is your 2n plus 1. Minus 1 upon 4, n plus 1 whole square is n square plus 2n plus 1. Okay. So after simplification, I can get this is your 2n square plus 3n. 2n square by 6, n square by 3.